Hello to all of you. Happy holidays. We're moving towards the end of the year, and this talk is long overdue. This talk is about masturbation, of which I have received a lot of emails, requests, and most recently, my one on one Buddhist psychotherapy with a student, where of which the student indicated that they feel very guilty and not sure what is the Buddha's view on masturbation. So, this is going to be published across the world, and we're going to have a lot of viewers from different ages um, across the human lifespan. So, hopefully, I'm able to make a comprehensive and effective explanation as you are dealing with this, struggling with it, have questions about this particular act and what it means on the spiritual path. So first and foremost, let's understand human behavior. That thousands and thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, we were apes, and we didn't have clothes on. We ran around naked. Okay. Then, as we progressed and evolved through time, and of course, civilization and humanity requires you need to have clothes on, or else we call that indecent exposure. So therefore, our primitive mind, the curiosity of the primitive mind is always going to be wondering, I wonder what she's working with. I wonder what he's packing in there. These are the common language and adjectives that goes through one's mind in society as we're walking through or at a club or perhaps engaging other people. So I remember that men think about sex every 7 minutes or something like that. The frequency and recency of men thinking about sex and nudity and pornography very often, very frequent, very prevalent. So as you are going through the spiritual path, spirituality means wanting to know yourself, knowing who you are, where you've been, where you're at, where you want to go, who you want to go with. A lot of you will be struggling trying to have a nice, calm, peaceful, quiet life in the midst of catering to what your body wants. The craving, the clinging, the attachment of what the body wants. This body in itself, being born in this human body, indeed, it is a favorable human rebirth realm, but at times it can feel like born into samsara, born into the arising and ceasing of one's craving, impulses, curiosity. And it could lead to addiction if left unchecked. It could lead to the extreme point if left unchecked. Buddhism is about the middle way, not too extreme of something and not too lazy. And don't lay in bed all day, right? And obviously don't go to the extreme of masturbating every single hour. I think there was a kid that died from masturbating so much. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm sure that a medical doctor can tell you that death is possibility. So therefore, understanding your impulses and reaching out to clinical doctors, medical doctors, sex addiction counselors, those who are certified and licensed in your state, across the world, or in your country, would be helpful so that they can help you understand your tendencies and inclination. Where this rises to the level of clinical concern is when it starts to affect your home, work, school balance, and relationships. Also, a lot of people use pornography, sex, or masturbation to mask an underlying pain in their life, whether they have been a victim of addiction, trauma, or abuse. And so therefore, the mind, the jumping mind, sometimes the ADHD mind, will jump all over the place, wanting to run from that discomfort, whatever that discomfort is. When it comes to masturbation, I'd rather people masturbate than rape people under our precept of refraining from sexual misconduct. Under this precept, it means that whatever you do with another human being or multiple human beings at once needs to be consensual. Nowadays, in the realm of sexuality on this subject, we have all sorts of adjectives, pansexual, you have all sorts of sexual adjectives that describe, you have swingers, you have all sorts of fantasies out there. There is a book called disorders of sexual desire. And as you can observe in pornography, that once one fantasy is fulfilled or satisfied, it leads to more fantasies. And it typically becomes sicker and sicker, illness after illness psychologically, like BDSM, for example. So you have to really be mindful and pay attention to what when our senses are activated, our eye sense consciousness, eye consciousness, ear consciousness. These are the typical two things that get us into a lot of trouble when we see things and hear things, and it trigger certain memory, triggers certain that feel good, it triggers certain chemical releasing in the brain, oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine. And so therefore we're prone to grab the laptop or the phone, prone to go on, for example, Pornhub or XN and XX and the other websites that's available on there. These are things that I do research and work with sex addiction counselors often to hear stories, to gather stories, though I am not an expert in this, but to understand love, relationship, sex, and masturbation systemically and how it affects the human condition and how it plays out the dynamics in human relationships or that human wanting a relationship with another, how to communicate that desire so that they have a fulfilling, satisfying, happy, healthy life. So I think that should do it. Again, reducing, understanding, cutting back gradually. Obviously, not asking any of you to cut cold turkey. No one can do that with any addiction, not just porn addiction or sex addiction or masturbation addiction, but vaping and addiction to chocolate, addiction to anything. Gradually, you want to cut back. The energy aspect, virya, it's very draining if you notice that it's very time consuming to watch porn and you see it takes longer to orgasm, for example, or take longer to achieve the same effect, no different than any other addiction in the realm of addiction. And it's very draining. That's why Buddhist monks are trained to refrain from such acts, such impulses, and to remain mindful and to channel the river of our energy for the benefit of other people. But for you in your life, noticing how draining it could be, you see that it's keeping you from getting up. It forces you to be lazy. You sleep more and sleep more closer to the laptop, subscribing more. These are some common behaviors that I see in young students. There are people who have drained the bank account in subscribing so much to OnlyFans, for example, in satisfying their needs and wants and desires. Desire causes suffering. Examining the second noble truth in Buddhism. So again, I invite you all to consult with experts who can narrow down biological, social, and interpersonal issues that could adversely affect the way how your mind works. Until this very day, the mind and body is a very intricate thing. We still don't really know how the mind works, and we still don't know how the body actually works. So therefore, it's important that you use the best available science we know and that we have with all of the experts on there. You all can visit, for example, pages like psychologytoday.com to look up your local sex addiction counselor, licensed mental health counselor, LCSW, social workers, and psychologists and psychiatrists to help you understand more about your body impulses. And likewise, monks too can help you with this by giving you information on the Dhamma so that you can reduce and hopefully find the middle way. We are organic human beings and it takes a lot of time, so forgive yourself. Don't feel so bad, shameful, and guilt. A lot of books like the Holy Bible, talks about this. Touching yourself constitutes sin. Again, we're very hard on ourselves. And in Buddhism, we emphasize this loving kindness meditation. I hope this helps, and you all can reach out for me for questions, comments, and if you need counseling, I am also available for free. Take care.